Good morning, everybody, and welcome to today's video. I wanted to talk to you about narcissism, and if the narcissist really wanted to get to where they could become vulnerable, how would it start? So let's jump in. So, in my humble opinion, I was thinking and dwelling on this for a while last night, and I think what it would take if a narcissist truly wanted to work on being vulnerable, being true to themselves, being authentic. What are the things that destroy a relationship for a narcissist, or for you in the narcissist relationship, in the whatever? We'll just call it a situationship. So what kills the situationship? What are the three things that devastate it in your life? It's typically lying, right? Just cheating and lack of vulnerability. So how can we fix that? How would somebody fix that? Well, they have this issue with this object constants, or this out of sight, out of mind, or this impulsiveness. It goes along with impulsiveness. So if we wanted to get on a level of being somebody who's going to work that muscle of not being impulsive, work the muscle of trying to find love and your emotional state, we have to take a little teeny muscle, right? Because they've never used it. And we got to work it out. You got to start going to the gym, right? You got to build self-control. Number one. If you don't have self-control, you don't have nothing. If you don't have vulnerability, you don't have anything. What comes with self-control? With self-control, you have the ability to earn the respect for yourself. I think the problem with the narcissist is they don't have any respect for anybody, and they are almost as if they're spoiled like brats, right? And I'm not trying to be funny, but really, I think the narcissist should be able to agree with me. Let's not get sensitive. Let's for the narcissist, just be objective. You know, it just is what it is for a minute. But how could you get a narcissist to understand like humanity understands? Well, one thing's for sure. They don't respect people that are loyal. So if they wanted to understand things like that, things like loyalty and vulnerability, okay, and stopping impulsiveness, these are things that, and then lying, right? Well, if you decided to just take the mask off, like, what are you afraid of? Just take it off. Who cares? It's a huge relief. That's the first step. It's not salvation or anything. But I'll tell you what, if you could take the damn mask off, you'd be halfway there. You would be halfway there in just one sitting. And if you're wanting to raise your vibration up so you don't have to deal with other narcissists like yourself and be put down by them, because narcissists put down narcissists all the time. If you took the mask off, your vibration would double, at least. I mean, you're talking about the fastest way for you to raise your vibration if you're a narcissist is take the damn thing off. All it is damning you and damaging you on a daily basis. Can you not just wake up and just feel in your heart who you are, man, and put your golden globe down? Like, what is that? Just put it down. In fact, throw it off a cliff, because that mask's been damning you. I mean, you can't blame people. You can't blame anybody. Free will, y'all. Doesn't matter. At some point in time when you become an adult, it doesn't matter. You can blame people, but what are you going to get from that? Sympathy so you can be weak? No. I ain't giving you no sympathy. Because we all have to take the reins to our life at some point. And for us to say it's okay to pet you, that don't help nobody. It may sound horrible for some of them that have been traumatized, but I'll tell you what, you get yourself in much more trauma than whatever you started out with when you put that mask on. So nobody's helping you to be petting you, because what is it going to do? It's going to get you in more trouble. Bunch of empaths petting you, and then you go out there and destroy yourself deeper and deeper and worse, and you're older. No. Somebody got to be hard, y'all. And that's the problem we're dealing with today. If a narcissist really wanted to get help, or help themselves, because ain't nobody going to help you, you have to be willing to wake up and just respect people. Think about how you would think if you were them. Build good boundaries. You have to give equal reciprocity, because you're a taker. So you know how to take, and you know how to not give too much. So your problem is you don't give enough. But what I'm saying is, a lot of things will come freely to you if you take the mask off, and you might be like, well, there's a lot of intricate parts there. It's not that difficult. This is where faith will get you miles in one sitting. If you look at it right, it's the angle and the perception. And if you go out there to these textbooks and these people behind desks, their trajectory for you is just to barely make you functional. I mean, that's not a life to live. You want to be abundant just like the rest of us. And God didn't make it to where it's got to take that dang long. I mean, really. You would have to take the mask off. Take the mask off. Just be who you are. But be accountable and look at people's mannerisms and stuff. And if you can't read signs to who you're taking advantage of. And that's how you find balance through all this. You're going to mess up. But you can't sit there in fear. You got to fight through the fear. Fear of what? Fear is in your head. Like I said, when it comes to the empath and the narcissist, we're on opposite. We were driven up like this in childhood. One of us loved to death. One of us was incredibly logical. You need to think from your heart first. What does your heart say first? What does your gut tell you? Because if a narcissist thinks from their logical mind all the time, just playing chess, well, they'll just be out to destroy. Cold. No love. But if the narcissist, they're triggered to think something, okay, take a minute, send it to your heart and your gut. This is where your spirit is. This is where your soul. It's right here. If you pay attention, if your gut warms up, God's telling you something. But if you take your thoughts and run them through here first, and then mix them with your logic, I think that would help you. But you can't be around toxicity either. Nobody can. Toxicity destroys everything around it. But just as the empath is dealing with spells, you're spellbound when you come out of this. The trauma gets something to click, right? And here you are. You're in the same place, the same chair, the same car, but you're looking at things different. But if you took the mask off, then you would build self-control. If you could take the mask off, you would build self-control. And authenticity would come because you would be taking the mask off. At least some authenticity to work on. You got to build that muscle. It's just like you almost have a handicapped muscle. It's never been worked out because you refuse to use it. But like I said, it starts with forgiveness. True forgiveness. Adult forgiveness. You have to go down some of those dark paths where you refuse to forgive, and you have to think about it, go through it, look at it from an angle to where you can benefit from it. Not that you benefit from it, but you benefit from it with your creator. You have to get back to the creator. And maybe that doesn't scare too many narcissists, but it sure as heck would scare me. Because Lord knows there's nothing worse than living a whole life here and then going down instead of up when you pass. Again, if that ain't a tower moment for you, I don't know what is. I mean, really, you need to always be conscious of, I mean, what would Jesus do, right? But you got to understand, Jesus was also firm. Jesus had some righteous anger. You can't just be a pushover either. I think empaths think that, though. Nice people need to be pushovers. No. Somebody without boundaries will get themselves destroyed, possessed, oppressed, all of that, because boundaries protect you from evil. I mean, for instance, if you're an alcoholic and you build a boundary, I can't drink ever. Okay? That's a boundary. If your friends want to go out drinking, well, you can't go. And that's just the way it is. It's a boundary that protects you from evil. If you don't get equal reciprocity, what are you walking yourself into? An abusive relationship. If I give you 50% of my energy and I get 10% back, 20% back in return, that's abusive. And I ain't doing it. Because it tells me that you suck and you're greedy. You're out for yourself and you don't give a damn about me. You see? And people that are healthy, they know this. So yeah, narcissists, you can go out there and abuse everybody, the people that are unhealthy. But everything in life's going to be unbalanced. Yeah, you could be a taker. You're going to be lazy. You're going to be a coward. You're going to never be filled up with goodness. You're never going to feel satisfied. You're never going to feel that love. Because that's a vibration of evil. It's a demonic vibration. That's why all narcissists are so susceptible to this stuff. The negative spiritual side of things. You're on a 199 or less, y'all. You know what that says? Guns, drugs, promiscuity. That's taking somebody and turning them into trash. And that's not right, y'all. Nobody will ever be happy like that. You got to look at things like, what is equal reciprocity? You need equal reciprocity. You have to have equal reciprocity, or else you have nothing. You have to be vulnerable. To be vulnerable, you have to take the mask off and take the hits that come. Take the uncomfortable feelings. And that uncomfortability goes away because you're going to build that muscle. Then you'll be like, psh, I took the mask off 5 days in a row, y'all. I haven't worn that thing since Monday. Didn't kill you. Just be who you are. And then you have to regulate it. That's what you have to do, because you might take it off and be a complete ass all day long. But as you piss people off, you're going to have to bring it to the middle, because you're going to be like, I can't keep doing this. But that's regulating it. That's aligning back to the middle. But it would cause you to function properly, because this is where all your dysfunction is. It's this damn mask. And you will never... That's where you need the courage. To get to a 200 on the vibration chart, 200 is courage. That means you passed the test. You elevate. You elevate. You know how you win in life too when you've just been destroyed? You have to achieve better performance. It's like if you lost and I'm going objective, and I'm talking about objects here, and that's probably not a good thing. But if you can look at this from the right point of view, how you need to deal with this is, if I had a $500 watch and someone stole it, or I lost it, or it broke and I couldn't fix it, I'm not going to be happy until I get a $1,000 watch, y'all. So in spades, they have that term trump, don't get it twisted, but you have to trump whatever you had. Shoot. But do it in a righteous way. Don't use people to get it, because when you use people to get it, you lose it quick too. When you use people to get it, the negative reaping, you have to pay 10 times back. So what's that doing? You're actually cursing yourself, because now you still got to go back. That's why a narcissist is always going back further and further. No growth. They wreck somebody else's life, all their lives. They wreck a bunch of people's lives, but then it ends up wrecking their life too, because that negative reaping hits them. It has to. It's a law. But what they try to do is manipulate their negative reaping by throwing it on other people and trying to cloak themselves. And you can do that for a time, but God ain't gonna let you do it forever. And then when it does catch up with you, you get bashed. And all that does is brings you back to ground zero again. Whatever has happened can be vindicated. It can be, this is the thing, you have to transform. Y'all out there, you have to make a decision that you don't want to keep going back to ground zero. Because if you keep going back to ground zero, it hurts too much. You're not going to survive. And in this world and in this life, whatever has happened can be vindicated. This is the thing, you have to transform. Y'all out there, you have to make a decision that you want to, okay, this is the thing I want to say about when it comes to perspectives and angles and looking at things from the right angle. You can look and see there's a tree in front of me. There's a tree there. It's like saying, we like to look at things like there's a tree there and I can't get around it. Or what do you want me to do, go through the tree? But there's other ways of looking at it. You can get out there and you can cut it down and drive over it. You can cut it down and drag it off to the side, and you can go around it. You could take a different route maybe, where you didn't think there was a route. Create one. But when you play the victim, you just look at it and say there's a tree there and I can't go through it. And then you sit back like this and you can pout until some empath comes around and pets you. And they tell you to scoot over and get in the passenger seat, and I'll show you, I'll drive you around it. And that's what continues to happen in your life. That's called complete codependency and victimhood mentality. But you don't need that person to tell you to scoot over and let me show you how to do it. Let me do it for you. No, that's ridiculous. You have a steering wheel. You can, it's perfectly, you have the same capability they do to drive a car and to think. I mean, what needs to occur is, I think narcissists, right away, they're very easy at finding the manipulative way of getting the job done, or getting to their target the quickest way. Like, the correct way is to go up the street and to take a right and go up another 100 foot and park. But, the narcissists, they kind of like, as the crow flies, man, they're like, diagonals the quickest way, and it's the fastest way and the easiest way. How can I get there diagonally? Who can I manipulate? But that's not the way you can live life. You can't live life like that. And that's why you get on such a low vibration. Because it's evil. It's evil. To generate goodness, you have to find a way to do it right. And then follow through with it. Yeah, it takes twice the amount of time to drive all the way up to the stop sign, stop, put your blinker on, take a right, and then drive the speed limit and park, right? Instead of driving through this field diagonally to get there, run someone over and get there 5 seconds earlier. Yeah, you got your target was completed and it was quicker, but you destroyed everything to get there. So what does that do? That makes you feel bad. You wronged people. You hurt people. You wrecked people. You messed up the lawn, y'all. The car's all dirty because it's got mud all over it. And everything about it makes you feel bad. I don't care whether you feel it or not. If you have love or not, your body knows it keeps count. It keeps a score when you do crappy stuff, man. You can't get it. When God put these rules into the system of the world, listen, if you could manipulate to get around those rules, you don't want to. I'll tell you that. You might can, but not forever. But even if you could, you don't want to. You know why? Because that's where your grace lies. And when God says that he don't care about you, when God doesn't tug on your heart, when God doesn't chasten you, that's because he don't care about you no more. Well, he cares about you, but he knows that you too far gone to even worry about. You've chosen your side. And you don't want that. If nothing ever happens right in this life for you, you got to get that golden ticket to heaven, man. But if you live right, if you live righteous, you can have joy and happiness and fulfillment and love and peace. And you won't want that toxicity in your life all over the place, all around you. If and when sometimes you're forced to settle down for a period of time because you have to, there's an addiction to even feeling like you have to be running around. I've felt that before. I've felt it a lot, actually, in my past. But when you force yourself to meditate or you're stuck, sometimes God makes you be stuck. Because when you're stuck, you're forced to slow down. It's very fascinating, though, because when God works in your life, he slows everything down. Now, he doesn't stop it and put you in stasis like the enemy does, like a mucky pond where you're just fogged and clouded up. That's abuse. But what the Lord will do when you run it all around the world, he might stop you because he needs you to think. He needs you to dwell on things. He needs you to not be distracted. He may stop you physically, but he won't stop you from progression. In fact, a lot of times, the most progression that you can have in life is when you're in a position where God has got you stopped. Because you're forced to have to reflect. And for most people, the people that can do it, when you slow yourself down, you kind of can get used to relaxing, and then you probably won't want that fast running around lifestyle. But taking off the mask, man, is the beginning of everything. Just be who you are. And if people mock you and don't like you and don't want to talk to you, man, well, let it burn, y'all. You got to let it burn. You just let it burn right down here in your gut. Not in an evil way, but with passion. You say to yourself, all right, I see, but I'm going to keep doing what I'm doing because I know it's right. And you can mock me, make fun of me, not talk to me, act like I ain't here. That's okay. I'm growing. I'm growing. You're planting little seeds in your own life. You're showing yourself how to stop and love yourself. You're telling this body, I want you, and I'm going to respect you, and I'm going to be authentic to you, no matter what. And from there, you'll have a lot of sparks going off, and you will have new intuitions and new things happening. Because if you can't take that mask off, then ain't nobody going to want to be with you. You can't be vulnerable. But you got to see toxicity, and you can't be vulnerable with that. That's where you got to stay guarded up. That's called boundaries, though. You're kind of allowed to wear a mask around toxicity. I mean, you don't want to lie. Well, in some cases, if you're in a toxic situation, until you can get out of it, you may have to play that game. Because narcissists You can't tell them the truth if you're trying to get the hell out of there with just your equal percentage or whatever, your finances, right? Because they will plan on sabotaging and destroying you. So in the case of that, but when you have freedom, when you're around toxic people, you just talk about simple things, keep things short, and you be cordial. So that's what I meant by sometimes you kind of wear, not a mask, but you can't talk to toxic people too much. And you don't want to get to know them. And the longer you talk to toxic people, they have influence. So that the longer you're with them, talking to them, you're going to be influenced. But I'll tell you what, man, in a situation where you have like a toxic family and toxic, all the people around you, you have to reassess. And you have to get rid of them. And there's a lot of people in your camp. In a situation, if a narcissist wanted to change, they literally have to get rid of everybody. You're being used. There's people using you. Your closest are your worst. And if you want to find out who's the toxic one, and it's probably the ones you think aren't, don't talk too much. And let a little bit out to one person. And if it gets out to everybody, well, hell, you know where it came from. Then you know they're toxic. But you can't be around toxic people, and you can't keep giving them chances. Because they don't like you. If you look better with long hair, they're going to tell you to cut it short. I mean, really. And they're going to take from you, steal out from under you. Take things that are precious and walk away. They'll wreck your life and laugh. So if you cannot identify the toxic people in your life, you have toxic people in your life. When you wake up to what you're doing, or if you're a narcissist that wants to change, you have got to get rid of them all. I mean, the ones that you think are very good friends probably are not. They're probably the ones wrecking you. It's unfortunate. You almost need to re-rock everybody that you know when you wake up to this stuff, because you can't trust nobody around you, because you are coming out of toxicity yourself. And so is the empath when they wake up. And you have to look at things from a reality standpoint. It is what it is. There's a red stop sign down there. It's always freaking red, man. Red and white. It ain't pink. It ain't yellow. It's red, y'all. It's going to be like that every day. It's not going to change colors. You cannot go into an imaginary world. You got to look at it for what it is. And it hurts to say, well, this shit ain't never going to change, you know? This ain't never going to change. But the reality is that's probably the truth. But you can't stick around and get bulldozed over day after day after day, becoming toxic yourself, waiting to see if it's going to change. You got to go, y'all. Keep it stepping. So, if you can give me a like, subscription, and thumbs up, love y'all till next time. Peace be out.